News Talk, sports powerhouse of the Gulf South. It's all things legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud. Underwritten by Nicaud and Clemson Law Firm and the Sunseri Law Firm. Join us on the Open Heart Tutors Talk and Text Line 504-260-1870 or connect anytime anywhere on the Odyssey app. Now, live from our Gulf Coast Bank and Trust Company studios, the bank that cares about you. Here's Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri.
Hey, Happy New Year. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend warriors. And we are now starting year 18. So good morning, Albert.
Good morning, Doug. Year 18. Wow. Yeah, that's a long time.
We got 12 more years before we beat Carson. So Johnny Carson was on for 30, so we will we'll be what 75 and 76 by that time. So we're probably set to beat them. And Happy New Year, Albert. And Steve, we had been on for a while. And, lots happening in the city. Lots happening in sports. Things change pretty quickly for the better. One of the changes is going to be for the better. Well, I guess we'll talk about later. Last day. Air Control is on there. So that's reason to celebrate.
We can celebrate that for sure. Yeah.
And then so I think last time we're on, the Saints have made a change in trajectory. I mean, I think they bottomed out sometime during the year, and now they're finally back up. And it looks like we might have a quarterback for the future.
I agree.
I think he's the real deal. It's just a matter of is he going to be a top half quarterback or top 10 quarterback or even better than that. So that's the question. But there's a lot of optimism going into the off season. I think the draft, there's going to be a lot of enthusiasm, and we're just going to have a different mindset going into this year than we had the last 4 years. So that'll be exciting.
No, I agree. And if they're a handful of pieces away from winning this division, right? I mean that they're a couple of players away. I've said it all season. They had three, 5'10", 6-foot wide receivers, and you need a big stud 6'5", get me the ball up high where nobody else can get it, and I'm going to come down with it in the end zone. And Wwl seems to be turning into that. But it wouldn't hurt to go get another good, strong beast of a receiver. So they absolutely need a tight end. They definitely need some help on the offensive line, and they need a linebacker or two. And so I mean, it's nothing that they can't get through the draft, and maybe a good trade here or there. So and then they can win this division. Now, can they get real far in the playoffs? Probably not next year. But, let's go get a division championship.
Let's look at these teams in the playoffs right now. Buffalo Bills with Josh Allen, they're a Super Bowl contender. Without Josh Allen, they're probably a 6-10 team.
Right.
Kansas City Chiefs, they finished 6-11, 7-10. Without Mahomes, they're a 6-7 team. And the thing about quarterback in the NFL is that are Cincinnati Bengals with a healthy Joe Burrow. They're a 10-11 win team that is a Super Bowl contender. Without Joe Burrow, they're a 5 or 6 win team. So if there's one position in the NFL that can change the difference between winning 3 or 4 games, that's quarterback, which the Saints finally hit. Derek Carr retired. Received some capital. And we're paying would maybe an upper tier quarterback second round money. which saves you probably about $30 or $40 million cap that you can spend on other areas. So we went from cap hell for 4 years to we got a break. As far as that's concerned. So it's very positive. And actually, not that I'm looking back as anything, but they were 3 or 4 plays from heading to the division.
No question.
The first game, and they didn't make it. Quarterback, and he was making plays that Shough was making at the end of the game.
Well, look, there's something to be said about that, right? Rattler had the much harder schedule in the first half of the season. I mean, we played some pretty bad teams, in the second half of the season. I mean, a few playoff contenders, very few.
No question about that.
Yeah. So I mean, and again, it was a patchwork. It was trying to get players to get into the knowing the new system that the new coach put in. I mean, there's a lot of things that factored into it. But and look, I thought Rattler played well. I thought he made some plays in the season. I mean, we almost beat Buffalo. I was in Buffalo for that game. Now that they had a pick or two, or had a couple of plays at the end. But I mean, the Saints played the 49ers, the Seahawks, the Bills, the Bears, and the Rams. All of the well, not the Rams, but the Bears, all during his tenure there. And so those were 4 playoff teams that are good playoff teams, right? Whereas. Yeah. Shough played the Rams, and I guess you can count the Panthers, but otherwise they.
Well, also, you just look at the eye test, and you just look. In some games, they had similar stats, but it's just making plays when you need to make plays.
Wrong.
In some games, they had similar stats,
right. Season when everything was kind of new, they were all still learning what they were supposed to be doing, and he played the better team.
So
I think he's a sub backup, right? But I think Shough's a better quarterback for sure.
So we'll be going into the off season with a lot of optimism, and with the opportunity to contend for the division for 2026. So it'll be fun. And I think you appreciate the opportunity, possibility of winning a lot more now that we went through these 4 seasons of losing and 4 seasons of dealing with salary cap hell.
Right. Well, it's certainly not expected, Yeah.
So expectations. It'll be a fun off season. Also, to turn to LSU, Lane Kiffin. He's very interesting. I personally was hoping LSU would hire John Summerall. I thought he would be
I agree with you. I agree.
I think he's more, I don't want to say stable, but he would be more consistent. I think with Lane Kiffin, you got a lower floor and a higher ceiling. He's maybe less consistent. He's a little bit more of a risk. But
I agree.
He's sort of like brought, he sort of like Louisiana's new version of the Kardashian. Because he dates.
All right, I didn't look at it that way. But
he dates his ex-wife. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, his daughter dates the captain of the LSU football team, and the Portal King. He's very interesting in his pursuit of quarterback. And I was thinking about your old boss, Paul Schwartz, when I was thinking about how Lane Kiffin pursues quarterbacks. What happened was he went after Brent Sorsby with Cincinnati. Sort of had the Texas goes to Texas Tech. Then they bring in Sam Levitt from Arizona. And Sam Levitt had, during the visit, he was ready to commit from reports. And then Damon Williams, a Washington quarterback,
he was ready to commit from reports that
who had actually signed the revenue share contract with Washington, and then went into the portal. And so, in the middle of the visit, he turns his attention to Damon Williams and sort of waves to Samuel and say goodbye, nice meeting you.
Right.
So they went from almost signing Damon Williams. Well, Damon Williams had to go back and forth because he signed the revenue share contract with Washington. There was that mitigation. So now LSU director Husan Longstreet, who's a very talented quarterback from USC, but didn't play very much. But when I was thinking about Sam Levitt and Damon Williams, I was thinking about Williams. Back in the day, Par 4 bar and Parkway Cabin next door. And I won't use you as an example, even though it could have happened. It'd be like if you're in the Par 4, you know, young guy, you're talking to this pretty girl there, and they're making a lot of progress. You might go out on a date with you. And then your buddy comes up and says, "This beautiful woman is next door at the Parkway." So you right before you ask her for a date, you meet the girl who you're making a lot of progress with at Par 4, and you run over to the Parkway to sort of make some tumble. As soon as you get there, you find out she just left. So then you sort of like you come up there to the Parkway, so you walk back next door to the Par 4. You go back and try to talk to the girl. You don't want to talk to her. She leaves. And so, I mean, you might have experienced that yourself when you were a younger man, Albert. I don't know, but
yeah, I was very out behind the bar.
Albert. You were behind the bar.
Yeah, I was very out behind the bar.
But that was sort of LSU quarterback. Pursuit. He was about to close it with Sam Levitt, and then this beautiful woman and another bar shows up. He says, "No, I'm going to right now. Check out this beautiful girl." And he gets to the bar and she's gone, and he tries to run back to the old bar and try to make up with the other girl, and she's saying, "I'm not having it." And that's what happened.
So let me ask you though, did he leave? And the Par 4's quarterback.
So let me ask you though, did he leave? And did he leave because somebody else wanted to give him more money?
Well, they sort of took a 180 turn when Damon Williams actually became available in the portal. There was some change.
Right.
Also, Sam Levitt did have a injury that they were concerned about during the spring, and so that weighed into the factor. But it was just sort of an interesting pursuit, and actually there were reports that they went up to Tennessee to try to make nice with Sam Levitt, and he's from reports he's now in Miami, maybe visiting there or it's just he just has a different way of doing things, and it seems like sort of, I don't want to say drama, but there's a lot of tension that comes with every little move Lane Kiffin, for better or for worse.
Well, and honestly, I think it's for worse, because when you stand out like that, right, the praise is fine, but when you stand out like that and you're not doing well or you make mistakes, it's really glaring. And I mean, you probably could have got some raw for $6,000-7,000. I mean, $7 million. And, $7 million. Yeah, and taking the other, $6 million a year and got some athletes with it. I mean, listen, if it's me, I'm a high school kid, probably from very little means, and somebody wants to offer me $100,000 a year, let's say $500,000 a year to go play at LSU, but they want to offer me $800,000 a year to go play at Texas Tech. Sorry, Lane Kiffin, I don't love you that much. I could care less who you are. I'm taking the $800,000 and I'm going to go play there. It's a money thing for a lot of these guys. I want the money. I want to be on TV every week. That's all they're looking for. And so I don't think it's a big deal anymore to go play for Nick Saban or any of these big name coaches. Obviously, it's got to be a good fit, but you want to go play for who's going to pay you the most money, and I'm going to be on TV every night because then I can show my skills to the NFL scouts. But I don't. The game has changed. The recruiting has changed. Everything has changed.
Now, if Kiffin strikes out with John Longstreet, you may be getting a call from him. You know, to be a quarterback. So because they're going to go next to the St. Paul quarterbacks. I don't know if you have eligibility yet, but you may get a call because LSU has no quarterbacks.
Actually, I have all my eligibility. I didn't play college football.
Okay, there you go.
So I've got a good 5 years. They can redshirt me, do all that fun stuff. Of course, you know.
Actually, the market is a lot higher than we projected for quarterbacks. We were projecting about $3 to $4 million for quarterbacks. It's going up to $7 or $8 million.
That's craziness.
Yeah, it's just.
Well, you know, there's good and bad to everything, right? And so, you know, we talked about the portal and the NIL. Let me tell you, if I'm a kid that may not be a top 10 quarterback in the league, I'm playing for 5 years, right? I'm staying at college. Whereas a lot of these kids, they just left, or they're going to stay. I've got a choice of going to the NFL and making, $2 million, or I can stay here and make $5 million. I'm going to make $5 million and play another year, get another year experience under my belt. The other good thing about the whole transfer portal, Nick Saban doesn't have 5-star athletes on his kickoff team anymore. They're spread out all over the country. They're not sitting around waiting to reload. So, there's good and bad of all of it. But I think, once again, I've said this before, you should get one transfer and that's it. You get one time, you made a mistake, let me transfer,
It's year by year now. You're good this year. So it's different. Free agency every year, but it's been, we talked to a couple of GMs. I mean, we've done a couple of deals with some GMs already, but they're saying it is absolute chaos trying to deal with this portal. It says absolute chaos.
Let me ask you this. How do you know, from your end, Doug, how do you know really and truthfully how much a school is paying for NIL?
Well, it was.
Do they have to reveal it?
No, but what we had to do, did a deal with Fresno State, and we did a lot of analysis as to what their rev share was, what was the average in their particular conference, and we had to sort of disseminate the information and come up with a range, which we hit. So we took the team. Team rev share. We divided that by the players we did analysis of the top players in the conference. And then we also took the analysis to freshmen. And so we sort of put all that in the gumbo, and we came up with a range, and we sort of hit it. And one of the things we did was sort of interesting. We just back for NFL days. The contract, the second part is incentives. So we got we proposed about 20 incentives, which they took about 10. And so we sort of figured out what incentives they were comfortable with or not. But one of the interesting incentives was they did GPA incentives. So if the player made GPA, a certain amount, you get an extra amount. So it's when we're at the NFL, we used to get the agency with all the salaries. And they were They're not confidential anymore because this is back with before the internet. So we would be able to set the market that. But now you sort of have to do your own research. There's a lot of information out there. And then you sort of talk to other players, sort of get a feel of what they are. You just got to get a feel of how far you can push them when you're playing your hand. So, all right, let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, lawyers, all things legal. First show of 2026. We'll be back right after this time out.
Tiger fans, for the latest on LSU football and Lane Kiffin's key portal and transfer signings, keep it locked on WWL for breaking news, interviews, and analysis. Brought to you by the Spirit of First Americans, banking tradition since 1910, and WWL. You still thinking about change in the new year?
What's that? Also, you know what?
Pros go to school there
He's,
too.
you know, he's,
What
can I say?
Well, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Unconventional
evaluation now at mycareer.edu.
He's like a different cat. That's all I can say.
I'm still congested.
You need Sinex saline from
Now you speak like the Kardashians come to town, man. Every time I pull up my news
Year-round
feed,
allergies with a
something
gentle,
with
ultra-fine
something
mist and no mess, easy to control. Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe.
The wild-card round is here, and FanDuel is truly on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Each game day during wild-card round, you find a packload of remarkable profit boosts waiting for you in the app. Pick the matchups you believe in. Take your shot at an upset or build a parlay that fits the moment. Then apply your profit boost and go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs get rolling. The wild card round is here, and FanDuel is putting on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. So visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day.
21 plus and present in Louisiana. Permanent carriers only. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and match wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-770-7867. Why go to this or when there's Mardi Gras Beans Factory? This is where the magic happens, direct from the source. Get ahead of the Mardi Gras madness before it gets crazy. From light-up beads and plush throws to special crew packages, you'll find the best selection, unbeatable prices, and everything you need to own this carnival season. Don't wait. Shop now before the rush. Visit Mardi Gras Beads Factory in Bridge City or Houma. Shop online at MardiGrasBeadsFactory.com.
Worked all your life and built an estate to leave to love you. And now it's time to prepare an estate plan. So where do you turn? Things go to some online will and experienced Louisiana estate planning attorney to share your intentions, ask questions, and obtain advice. This is Albert Nicaud of the Nicaud and law firm in Metairie. I've been providing clients with estate planning advice and preparing wills and trusts for over 35 years. When you're ready to plan your estate, call me at 504-827-1304.
What's up, everybody? I'm Nick Costos, and watching sports isn't a hobby, it's a lifestyle, and my show is not a job, it's a passion. From the NFL playoffs to the NBA, everything in between, celebrate sports with me every day on You Better You Bet from 9 a.m. to noon. Download the Odyssey app now and listen to 141 Sports from anywhere. It's You Better You Bet with me, Nick Costos, live and interactive Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern, presented by BetMGM.
It all falls down to this. The entire thing is on the line. Here's a fish one in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks Vapor Cool Drops. Their max strength and vaporize sore throat. Whoa! These Vapor Cool Drops are fast. Speaking of fast, did you just see that plane? Yeah, vaporize that ball. That's fine instead of filming it.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks Vapor Cool Drops. Use discretion.
Back to all things legal. Sunseri and Albert Nicaud. Stream WWL and the Social Lab on Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn app. Or join us on the Oakland Heart Coolers Talking Text Line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. That's Albert Nicaud. You can order all things legal. You know, if you're a football fan, NFL fan, this is probably the best week. Fantastic playoff game. On WWL, 11:30, pregame for Bills versus Jaguars. After that, Eagles, and then Patriots. I went to bed last night because Green Bay was up
21-3.
It's about end of the quarter.
So I'm going to bed.
Green Bay had it in the bag. And I woke up and said, Bears win. I'm like, what? So,
right.
Did you watch that?
I did. I was at a wedding last night, and I watched a good bit of it. And you know, Carolina almost pulled it off.
Yeah, they did. So it's probably the best weekend of NFL playoff football or football. All the entire year.
Right.
Let's see. It's a new year, and I want to talk about a couple of new laws that go into effect in Louisiana. And I think this is pretty applicable to car accidents. But there's a law that says that it goes into effect. And it's, if you're involved in an auto accident and you're more than 50% at fault, you're barred from recovery.
Mm-hmm.
And Albert, maybe you could explain how it worked before. And in the context, I think back in the 20th century, you work for the DOTD or for the state.
If the car accident was drunk,
with a .35, they would, on the interstate, and then they would get in a crash, and they were seriously injured. They would sue maybe the state or the parish for having some defects in the road, and they were trying to get maybe a small percentage of negligence for a lot of injuries, and a lot of things like that. But if you could explain how the new law goes into effect.
Yeah. So previously, the law was Louisiana was a pure comparative fault state, which meant that every party involved in an accident, even parties that were not sued or brought into the lawsuit, it was up to the jury or the judge, the trier of fact, to assign a percentage of fault to each one of the parties, not necessarily parties to the lawsuit, would be parties who were responsible for the accident, including the plaintiff, the person filing the lawsuit. And so, if the plaintiff was 60% at fault and the defendant was 40% at fault, the plaintiff would still be able to recover 40% of his or her damages. Louisiana, what they've done is they've said, okay, look, we're now, and now we're going to play the 51% rule. So if the plaintiff is 51% at fault, okay, then the plaintiff does not recover anything. They don't recover 49% of their damages. They recover zero. And so I think what that's going to do, and like you said, Doug, I think it's going to help the state probably more than most other, defendants. I had George Rosselli on the show when you were off. George does a lot of premises liability, slip and fall, and that sort of thing. And I asked him, I said, George, do you think it's going to affect the types of cases that you take? And he said, well, we always have to screen them, right? And because, especially the premises liability,
you're looking at
trip and fall, right? Is the defect open and obvious? Did the owner have actual constructive notice of the defect? All of these things factor in, and so it's a tough mountain to climb, especially then. Hey, look, why weren't you looking where you're going? You're 60% at fault. You get zero. So the plaintiff's attorney spends a bunch of money on doctors and experts and litigation costs and walks away with zero. So there's a higher risk for that. Now, the reason for a lot of this insurance reform was to save
money on premiums and lower
the premiums across the state. I can tell you, I just had a premium increase on two pieces of property at least. You know, that's probably more hurricane related, but you know, we hadn't had a hurricane in 2 years. So I don't think it's working in terms of insurance reform. I think corporate insurers are greedy. And if we can suck it, you know, some more premiums out of people for the next 2 or 3 years before we lower them, with this lower risks that they're creating, then they're going to do it. And I think our insurance commissioner needs to get involved a little more heavily and say, okay, guys, we did what you wanted us to do. We've lowered your risk. We've changed the law. We've done this tort reform. Let's start seeing some of the results of that. Let's get our premiums down. And I don't know that that's.
I think we're looking to before. You'd have situations where, and these are real life situations, insurance companies on the other side, insurance companies' money, or a state or a city where someone would be, you know, 3 times over the legal limit.
Right.
100 miles an hour down the interstate.
Yeah.
And then they hit the shoulder and they get into horrible weather. Their injuries are very, very substantial. The injuries might be worth over $1 million. And several million dollars because of, substantial. But from a lawyer point of view or a claims lawyer point of view, if you can get a 10 or 15% negligence on the state, not maintaining roads, or you still have a substantial recovery if you would take, let's say, $3 million damages, you get 10%, it's still $300,000.
Right.
And so there was a lot of cases, and a lot of times the insurance companies would have to settle it. They would say, they might settle it for $750,000, $100,000, saying it's going to cost us more to defend this case with experts and litigation costs, where litigation costs out. So you had a lot of these nuisance values that were sort of clogging up the system because you just need to get 5, 10, 15% to stay in the ball game. And so those cases aren't going to exist anymore.
Right.
Which is good.
That's a good thing. I mean, but that's a good thing. I'm okay with that. But although a pure fault system, there's something to be said for that too. I mean, just because somebody injured me, it's partly my fault, partly your fault, and I don't know.
Right. I mean, there's trade-offs.
But it is now. It's the law. So.
I always know anytime you make a change, it's a trade-off one way or the other. And we've got to figure out the benefit of the trade-off and the cost. And so this is another one, whether people like it or not. I suspect most of our audience like it. It is what it is. All right, let's go to a break, and we'll talk about a second change regarding, I guess, auto accidents, actually, medical expenses, in a case after break. So we'll be right back. All things legal after this brief time out.
All things legal on WWL. Live from our Gulf Coast Bank and Trust Company studios, the bank that cares about you. Listen when you want, how you want on the TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and Odyssey apps. Sports fans, today you have a choice. The Pelicans take on the Orlando Magic. Tip off 2 p.m. only on the Big 870 AM. Or hear NFL Wild Card Weekend on WWL at 105.3 FM and the Odyssey app.
We all hear the radioactive IRS. They tell you to be afraid, scared, and they try to threaten you with calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS for $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, you have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ for the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at CRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocate. Real solutions for real people.
Hi, this is Sam Moody with Fair Tax Resolution. Imagine if you could see the IRS's next move before they make. Introducing the IRS Transcript Monitoring Service from Fair Tax Resolution, your personal radar for tax code. Using state-of-the-art software, Handles AI, we monitor IRS activity on your account 24/7. It's like credit monitoring on steroids, but for your taxes. Let Good Tax Resolution alert you to changes, actions, and potential threats, so you can stay protected, stay ahead, and stay in control. Whether it's a pending audit, a collection notice, or a new penalty, you will know before it hits. With proactive alerts, expert analysis, more IRS agents, know what's coming, be ready, to activate your IRS transcript monitoring. Please call Good Tax Resolution 955-722-1040 or visit GoTaxResolution.com. That's GEAUX.
You don't hear the radio ads on the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to dare, and they threaten you with calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocate is different. CRA is here to tell you that if you need money for the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-507-9701. Don't lose hope. CRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ for the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at CRA.com or call 800-507-9701. That's 800-507-9701. Tax Relief Advocate. Real solutions for real people.
Feeling tired, stressed like yourself? Could be low testosterone affecting your energy, mood, and drive. Kronos Body Health and Wellness specializes in hormone replacement therapy for the personalized approach to boost energy, strength, and vitality. You'll experience improved mood, increased muscle mass, better focus, and performance. Let Dr. Steph work with you to create a custom plan for your needs, restoring balance so you feel strong and productive again. Oh wait, visit ChronosBHW.com or call to take the first step today. ChronosBHW.com.
Why go to just any bead store when there's Mardi Gras Beads Factory? This is where the magic happens, direct from the source. Get ahead of the Mardi Gras madness and stock up before it gets crazy. There's always something this day. From light-up beads and plush throws to special crew packages, you'll find the best selection, unbeatable prices, and everything you need to own this carnival season. Don't wait. Shop now before the rush. Visit Mardi Gras Beads Factory in Bridge City or Houma. Shop online at MardiGrasBeadsFactory.com.
My name is Danielle. I never thought in a million years I could use life insurance to unexpected tax because it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
It's all things legal on WWL and streaming live on the Odyssey, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio apps. To consult with Doug Sunseri or Albert Nicaud, call their office at 504-837-1304 or connect now on the Oak and Hart Jewelers Talk and Text line 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. A new year, we have new laws. And another new law we'll talk about is sort of associated with what we were talking about before is, and Albert, if you could explain this, starting in 2026, recoverable medicals are limited so that the plaintiff, and the plaintiff for the people in Bucktown are the people who are suing, may recover amounts actually paid for medical care, not the higher billed amounts. Could you give an explanation as to what that law entails and what are the changes with that?
Well, so it used to be that if you involved with in a lawsuit, let's say you had $30,000 worth of medical expenses that were actually billed, but you had health insurance and you ran it through your health insurance provider, and they had a managed care contract with a particular provider's the insurance company, let's say Blue Cross or Humana, one of them, then you would be able to recover the full amount billed. Typically, what would happen is the insurance company that paid the bills, let's say at 30 cents on the dollar, they paid 10 grand of the 30,000. They would be able to subrogate or obtain your rights to collect that back, the amount that they paid. That was actually paid for the services, and the other 60% or 70%, whatever the number is, you would be able to recover as part of your personal injury recovery. What they did was they changed the law and they said no, claimants can now only recover the actual amount paid to medical providers, not the billed amount. So if your lawyer paid it, right, and he sent you to some clinic and they paid the bills, then they'd be able to recover the full amount. But if it was a lesser amount, like an insurance company might have billed and paid, that amount you would only be able to collect that. And some people might think, oh, well, that's fair. Why shouldn't the insurance company pay the difference? Well, there was something in the law for the longest time called the collateral source rule. And what that meant was that the insurance company paying the claim cannot take advantage of a collateral source that paid the bills on your behalf. So what that means is I paid insurance premiums, right? I'm the plaintiff. I paid insurance premiums for all of these years for my medical care. And these insurance premiums came out of my pocket. And those premiums I paid were part of that managed care contract. And so why should the liable party's insurance company get a credit for the premiums that I've paid to have full coverage for all of my medical bills? And if they negotiated, my insurance company, health insurance company, negotiated some lesser amount, why should the responsible third party be able to take advantage of that and only have to pay the lesser amount? So like, for instance, if there was Medicaid or something, then it was always that Medicaid would pay. You could only get reimbursed with Medicaid paid because there was no collateral source. You didn't pay premiums for Medicaid. Medicaid was, part of your benefits that you would have received, without paying anything. So that was always the case. But with insurance premiums and insurance reimbursement, I paid premiums all these years. Why shouldn't I get reimbursed for those medicals? And so, as it is, the lawyer's probably taken, 33, 40% of my recovery. And so, why wouldn't I be able to collect the full $30,000 in our example, let the lawyer take 10, the insurance company take 10, and let me take 10 because I've paid insurance premiums to be able to pay all those bills for the tortfeasor's insurance company.
And again, this was a reform that is at the behest of the insurance companies, and with the hope that more insurance companies would come into the state, have more competition and lower premiums, but that hasn't happened yet. But remains to be seen if it will happen in the future. So let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
WWL is proudly sponsored by Dudley DeBosier, official injury lawyers of the New Orleans Saints. Call 444-4444.
That's 444-4444. Non-attorney spokesperson Chad Dudley, New Orleans.
The wild card round is here, and FanDuel is turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Each game day during wild card round, you'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you in the app. Pick the matchups you believe in, take your shot at an upset, or build a parlay that fits the moment. Then apply your profit boost and go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs get rolling. The wild card round is here, and FanDuel is turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. So visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day.
21 plus and present in Louisiana. Permitted parishes only. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-770-7867.
Lose weight or stop smoking with hypnosis, guaranteed or your money back. No matter how many times you've failed in the past, this hypnosis is guaranteed to work.
After this hypnosis, I want to eat good food.
Since August, I can honestly say I have not had one potato chip.
It was life-changing for me.
And I don't think about desserts like I used to.
Bridget, how much have you lost now?
I've lost a total of 83 pounds.
Holy cow.
It's easy, it's fun, very relaxing, and very successful.
And I would just say go for it.
Oh my, what are you waiting for? Lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed. Only $59.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late-day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Hypnosis, Thursday, January 29th at the Ramada Airport, Metairie. Weight loss hypnosis, 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking hypnosis, 8 p.m. Or Saturday, January 31st, Hilton Garden Inn, Covington. Weight loss hypnosis, 11 a.m. Stop smoking hypnosis, 2 p.m. Registration 30 minutes before. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com. That's markpatrickseminars.com.
Hi, I'm Doug Sunseri with the new Sunseri Law Firm and host of All Things Legal on Sunday mornings on WWL, AM, FM, and .com.
And I'm Michelle Demarest Sunseri. Let the Sunseri Law Firm help you with your estate, probate, family, and business issues.
And I'm their daughter, attorney Katie Sunseri, and we do make the complex understandable.
Call Doug and Katie at our Metairie office at 504-214-9111.
Or you can call me, the boss lady, in Mandeville at 985-624-9697.
Katie, tell everyone who's really the boss.
I'm taking the fifth on that one.
For Mardi Gras supplies, head to Jefferson Variety Stores.
I always get a chuckle when I hear that the boss lady line.
The boss lady.
And plenty more at Jefferson Variety Stores. Open 7 days a week. Visit them at 239 Iris Avenue in Old Jefferson or online at jeffersonvariety.com.
Get 6 months of business service free, plus a price lock. Some restrictions apply.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home...
All right, coming back right here, I'm not going to play a read on, so just take it away.
We're going to have
if you need a world-class website or technology project...
about a little over 2 minutes.
Okay, 773 Network. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773 Network. Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, you weekend lawyers, all things legal. Starting year number 18. I've got about a minute or two, but after the break, there's a couple of laws regarding roofing and construction that we'll go through that may be relevant, especially if we have some kind of weather event, which we seem to have in some form or fashion pretty frequently. And wanted to give a shout out to Happy New Year to Coleman. He's doing 70s in honor of par fours and Parkway Tavern, or that's more 80s, I guess. However, when you had par fours, what kind of music did y'all play?
I had it in the 80s, and so a lot of Paula Abdul and that kind of stuff. It was a mix. I mean, it depended what was going on. If it was later in the night, they'd play probably more music for people to dance to. But it was a early 80s, mid 80s kind of place, and it was a fun time, I must say.
It seemed like every time I walked in there, which was occasional, like maybe occasional, which was maybe like once a day. It seemed like I always heard "Play That Funky Music, White Boy" by Wild Cherry. That seemed to be in the loop. But
that was
that was 70s though. That was 70s.
Late 70s.
Yeah.
Wild Cherry.
But there you go. But appreciate Coleman bringing us back to the 70s on the music. But so we're going to talk about on the other side just a couple of new laws on construction and roofing and what type of license what you need. And we saw dodge the bullet this year. I don't think they had a storm within 2,000 miles of New Orleans, and it was never even.
Nope.
I mean, it wasn't even an afterthought. So maybe another 4 or 5 years like that, we'll be able to get some reduced insurance premiums. So that would be wishful thinking. All right, so we're going to go to national news, local news, national news, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes on All Things Legal for hour number 2. We're on till 10 o'clock. And after that, there's a heck of a lot of football that's going to be on WWL, so stay tuned all day. So we'll see you in about 10 minutes on All Things Legal for hour number 2.
Home of the Saints, LSU, and Pelicans. 870 AM, WWL New Orleans, 105.3 WWL FM, and HD1 Kenner New Orleans, and Odyssey Station.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Linda Kenyon. Anti-government protests continue in Iran despite reports hundreds of demonstrators have been killed. Mazyar Bahari, the editor of Iran Wire, says President Trump's pledge of support has been making a difference.
It has inspired many protesters to come out because they know that the leader of the world's main superpower is supporting their cause.
The president said of the Iranian government, quote, "We will get involved. We'll be hitting them very hard where it hurts." Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem on CNN defending the ICE agent involved in the fatal shooting of Renee Good in Minneapolis.
If you look at what the definition of domestic terrorism is, it completely fits the situation on the ground. This individual, as you saw in the video that we released just 48 hours after this incident, showed that this officer was hit by her vehicle, she weaponized it, and he defended his life and those colleagues around him and the public.
CBS's Christiane Benavides says ICE turned away a congressional delegation, including Representative Kelly Morrison.
Minnesota Democratic lawmakers tried to visit an ICE facility, but said they were denied access.
It would do a lot to bring down the temperature if they would allow us access so that we could show Minnesotans what is happening so there could be more transparency, and we were denied that.
The Department of Homeland Security said members of Congress must give 7 days' notice for congressional visits.
Grateful Dead co-founder Bob Weir has died at the age of 78. Dennis McNally was a friend and publicist.
The road was his life, and music was his life. That was what he was put on earth for, and he did it to the last.
The Golden Globes are tonight.
Me and Mom used to run around and do some real bad...
Paul Thomas Anderson's action thriller One Battle After Another is the film to beat at the Globes, with 9 nominations, including a Best Actor nod for Leonardo DiCaprio. Timothy Chalamet could give him a run for his money.
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
30-year-old who won last week's Critics' Choice Award is nominated for his role as a ping-pong-playing hustler in Marty Supreme.
Be careful, I will.
Sinners leads the race for Best Drama, but don't rule out Hamnet.
tell me a story.
The movie star Jessie Buckley is the favorite for Best Actress. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
The show is on CBS and Paramount Plus. So big changes are happening to your Gmail account.
You might want to take a look at your Gmail settings. Google is adding AI features that can turn the email service into a personal assistant that can deliver daily to-do lists, improve your writing, and summarize information buried in inboxes.
CBS's Allison Keyes. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
WWL First News, I'm Ian Ozan on your official weather station, WWL.
Our cold front has arrived. It's going to be much colder and windy today with sunshine. Temperatures only climb into the 50s this afternoon, so make sure you bundle up and keep warm. Tonight's going to be really chilly and windy. Temperatures will fall to the low 30s on the North Shore and low 40s on the South Shore by tomorrow morning.
WWL TV meteorologist Alexa Trischler has a full look at the forecast coming up in a moment. We're one day away from Mayor-elect Helena Moreno's inauguration, and today Moreno is hosting events that her team members say are designed to get the public involved in city life. The All In for Our Community Festival starts at 11 o'clock in Lafayette Square, with an inaugural Mass to follow at 5 o'clock at St. Louis Cathedral. The Mass will be live-streamed at the festival and on the Moreno inauguration website. Because of yesterday's rain, a day of service originally planned for this weekend will now take place a week from tomorrow, on Martin Luther King Day. Moreno's team notes that all of the inaugural events are privately funded, using no city dollars.
It was important to Mayor-elect Helena Moreno to, number one, not have the public or any tax dollars go to any of these community events that she's hosting for her inauguration. Moreover, rather than doing a traditional inaugural ball and having some formalities, she wants to make it all-inclusive and really open to the public.
Moreno's inauguration will take place tomorrow morning. We'll have live coverage of the inauguration starting at 8 o'clock. Right here on WWL. After the Louisiana Department of Health reports the state's first child death from the flu this season, state officials want you to know how to better protect yourself and others. Deputy Surgeon General Dr. Weish Coleman says it starts with washing your hands, doing it thoroughly and with proper technique.
You should wash your hands before and after eating, after coughing, sneezing, or blowing your nose, after using the restroom or changing diapers, after taking out the trash, touching raw foods or animals or anything dirty.
According to Centers for Disease Control and Prevention data, Louisiana currently has one of the highest rates of flu infections in the country. This all comes 11 months after the Louisiana Department of Health stopped promoting vaccinations and stopped hosting vaccination events across the state. Time for WWL Sports. Here's Charlie Long.
This WWL Sports Update is brought to you by People's Health. Day 2 of the NFL's wildcard round rolls on today with 3 more exciting playoff matchups. First up, we're starting in the AFC, where the 6-seeded Buffalo Bills head south to face the 3-seeded Jacksonville Jaguars. Fox Sports NFL reporter Jen Hale said behind quarterback Josh Allen, she could see the Bills being a dark horse team in the AFC playoff picture.
Normally, 5 seeds and lower, you can write them off, but I think the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen, I just cannot count them out. If they can get hot in the playoffs at the right time, you've got a lot of question marks about the seeds ahead of them, and Josh Allen is just so supremely talented, and the Bills have that run game. Their Achilles heel is their run defense, but man, other than that, they have so many tools and weapons. I truly think they could be a sleeper who jumps up there and ends up going on a crazy, crazy tear at the very end.
Kickoff between the Jaguars and Bills is today at noon, and then we head to the NFC side of things. things. The 3-seeded Eagles host the 6-seeded 49ers at 3:30 p.m. Lastly, at 7 o'clock, we'll go back to the AFC for a matchup between the 2-seeded Patriots and 7-seeded Chargers. Catch all the action of NFL Wildcard Weekend right here on WWL. This LSU update is brought to you by the Spirit of First American, a banking tradition since 1910. Yesterday, the Tigers continued bolstering their front line in the transfer portal, signing former Tennessee Volunteer William Satterwhite, a top 20 ranked interior offensive lineman in the portal. Stay tuned to more portal updates on WWL. Hopping to basketball, today the Pelicans are back on the road for a matchup against the Orlando Magic. Tip-off is this afternoon at 2 o'clock right here on the Big 870 AM. Charlie Long, WWL Sports.
Now, the Serve Pro Cleanup, Restoration, and Construction forecast on WWL.
Our cold front is here and winter is back today. It's going to be chilly and windy with sunshine on your Sunday. Temperatures only be in the 50s in the afternoon, so make sure you have your heavy winter jackets. It's going to be really cold and breezy tonight. Temperatures will fall to the low 30s on the North Shore and low 40s on the South Shore by tomorrow morning, so we'll have a light freeze north of the lake tomorrow morning. Monday and Tuesday, very chilly with temperatures in the 50s in the afternoon. Cold nights and mornings continue. Wednesday gets a bit warmer with temperatures in the 60s, but then it gets cold again by Thursday and Friday. From WWL Louisiana, I'm meteorologist Alexa Trischler.
And I'm Ian Ozan, WWL First News. Have a wonderful Sunday.
From WWL, the news, talk, sports powerhouse of the Gulf South, it's All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud. Underwritten by Nicaud and Seamson Law Firm and the Sunseri Law Firm. Join us on the Oakland Heart Jewelers talk and text line 504-260-1870 or connect anytime, anywhere on the Odyssey app. Now, live from our Gulf Coast Bank and Trust Company studios, the bank that cares about you, here's Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri.
Hey, we're back. Hour number 2. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, you weekend lawyers, all things legal, starting year 18. We'll pretty much be ago all the way to Labor Day. Now, we might be on a little bit more next football season because Saints may have some 3 o'clock primetime games because they're probably a little bit more marketable, to the nation. So,
right.
But we'll be
might be on a little less, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll be yeah, so they would probably play, maybe a couple of Sunday night games and a couple Monday night games, and there we'd be on when that happens in the football season. But we'll be blowing and going until Labor Day, and just for the NFL playoffs, there's really no prohibitive favorite this year for the Super Bowl. It's not like you're looking at, say, it's going to be the Chiefs or it's going to be the Eagles.
Right.
This year it's just sort of wide open. I mean, I don't,
I got to tell you, I'm liking Seattle. That team, they just, their defense is amazing. Their offense is, isn't going to set the world on fire, but I think that they've got enough to win games and close games and tight games. I think Seattle might be the team to beat, but
yeah. And ironically, the AFC is wide open. And Buffalo probably doesn't have one of its better teams, but has as good of a chance to get to the Super Bowl than any other AFC teams. It just the Jaguars. Yeah. I mean, there's just nobody there saying they're the prohibitive favorite. So, which makes it fun to watch because you just really.
Oh yeah, I like the Jaguars too. I think the Jags are. They're highest scoring team in the NFL. They put points up. They got a good, solid quarterback, top 5 quarterback. They've got all the components, I think, to get to the Super Bowl. But I think Seattle wins it.
It'll be fun to watch today and tomorrow night. And I'm sort of interested. I know they're not going to win, but I'm sort of pulling for Aaron Rodgers to go deep. I think it's just a great story to watch him at 42. It's just a great story. So, all right.
Better than that, Mike Tomlin. I'm a big fan of his. Always liked him, and I hate. He was on the chopping block. Talking about the 19 years coaching down the tubes. And I mean, the guys.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, But again, look, hey, thank you, but you hadn't gotten us past that first round or so of the playoffs in many years. So we need maybe a coaching change to get that done. I don't know.
The Steelers since 1970 have only had 3 coaches: Chuck Noll, and
Cowher.
And Bill
Cowher.
Cowher and Mike Tomlin. That's incredible. Over the course of almost 55 years, 56 years, they've had 3 coaches. So I think the Saints have had 3 coaches in one season. Some seasons in 2012 or 2012 they had 3 coaches. Also we didn't talk about the Pelicans, but they just need to. They got a couple of young building blocks. It's just a matter of who they're going to move. I think they just got to move Zion. Just get rid of him. I mean, he's just got to cleanse him of the Zion effect, and just he's a coach killer, and he was a general manager killer. He's a coach killer.
Well, I don't know if you've been watching him lately, but no, they've been pulling him off the bench.
I know. Yeah,
he started this past week, but they pulled him off the bench and had him play against the twos of the other teams. Right. And it probably humbled him a little bit and got him playing harder. So you got a coach that's not going to be, yeah, exactly.
Oh, come on, Zion, play harder. Come, get home late. Get home early and just play harder.
Jordan Poole's a bust. He's a cancer. He gets the ball and just shoots it from wherever, whether he's making shots, missing shots. And again, he can get in a hot streak, but so can all those guys.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what they do at the trade deadline, and also New Year for New Orleans. Wish the new mayor tomorrow, Helen Moreno, good luck. I'm sort of optimistic about the new mayor. She's very first of all, she makes a great presentation for New Orleans. She's got a media background, which is very helpful because when you are a politician, you got to communicate. Which it's nice to have a mayor that speaks proper English, first of all, and second, I think she seems to be very service oriented. I mean, I don't think she seems to be have a sincere desire to make New Orleans better, and I think she's pretty well versed on all different areas. I hope she catches on as to the economic development piece of this, because that's the part that New Orleans has been lacking. Because I think economic development and infrastructure is the 2 most important things of being a mayor, and we have been very hostile.
I think crime's a huge issue, right?
Crime,
I mean, look at all the people now going down to the French Quarter, going to hang out, going to have a great time, because they feel safe.
Right.
And Doug, you were not on the show a year or so back, and I had a guest on. He's Lance Lashardi, he's an assistant DA over at St. Bernard Parish, and we were talking about different criminal things and crimes and things like that. And I wish he would have called sooner, but a buddy of mine called me after the show was over. He said, "Man, I was listening to your show. I almost called you." He said, my sister has a place on Bourbon Street, kind of on the a little past St. Peter, more on the residential side. And he said we would go down. He lives across the lake. He said we'd go down once or twice a month. Friday, spend all day, go eat at Galatoire's. Mr. B is one of those iconic restaurants. Spend the evening in the Quarter, get up, go to get coffee and donuts, and just kind of hang out and enjoy the day. He said, I was there not too long ago, and of course, Cantrell was mayor, and he said I'd gotten to be friends with a lot of the police officers down there. Sometimes we'd go smoke cigars at this little cigar place when they'd get off, and he said, so I saw one that I'm leaving the condo, and he says, I see this policeman. I'm like, man, what you doing? He said, I'm biding my time. He said, I got 1 year left to make 30 years, and I'm out of here. And he said, he said, where are you going? I said, I'm going over by such and such. And he said, no, I wouldn't do that. He said, go over here. This is safer. He said, in the French Quarter from, Esplanade to Canal to the river to Rampart, he said, before LaToya was mayor, they had 36 police officers that would patrol that area. He said, you know how many are patrolling now? Four people in the jewel of the city. And he said, so I don't patrol because somebody might walk up and shoot me in the back of the head. He said, now if there's an incident, I'll run over there and get there and investigate it. But he said, we're so, it's amazing how poorly run it is and how, and so I think if Moreno will talk about crime and they'll prosecute the crime, they'll get tough on crime and let people know that, hey guys, we don't want you passing out and selling weed all up and down Bourbon Street. So many of my friends won't go back to the French Quarter because it just smells like
skunk weed,
marijuana. They take an Uber, they get dropped off at the restaurant, and then when it's over, they get the Uber and they go back and get out of the city. And it's a shame. I love the city. It shouldn't be that way.
Right. And there's a great outward migration. I know where I live in Mandeville. We just had someone who lived in Lakeview for 35 years move across the street, and they said they move reluctantly, but out of necessity. And
we're done, right?
Right. Yeah. It's basically, and so I hope I'm optimistic that I think the new mayor is going to be open-minded, and I think she may know what she doesn't know on certain issues, and I think she'll take a lot of that data in and make some good decisions. The last
only get better.
Yeah, last 8 years we've been set back. In so many different ways, and I think if a lot of people in the know 8 years ago and 4 years ago knew that this was a possibility when they elected this past mayor, and they did it anyway. I think you have to. Sometimes you get what you deserve, and I think you have to just be more judicious.
Yeah.
And who you because I know 8 years ago you had a very clear choice, and you had a very good candidate with Desiree Charbonnet, and for whatever reason it didn't happen, and so hopefully I'm somewhat optimistic that things will be better. It won't take a lot to make New Orleans to bring it back. You get the crime under control, get a little infrastructure done, and then make it just stop the exodus of businesses, and that would be a start. But I know I talked to a lot of people who in the NFL. This is the most absolute favorite place in the world for them to go, and this the last Super Bowl was absolute best. And when we travel out of town and we tell them we're from New Orleans, it's just the way they describe it's like going to Europe without going to Europe. And there's so many unique aspects of our culture that is so attractive that we could actually almost sustain our economy on the cultural economy as far as travel and all. If we just got a few things in place, we'd probably increase our tourism by 25 to 50% if we just took care of a few things that would make people feel safe. And I think the last time I remember we stopped going down the French Quarter. We'd spend staycations there, and we quit doing that 6 years ago because we felt like our head was on a swivel. And the last time we went, it was just in the last month, and we felt, when we finished this, it just felt a little different because it just had a little more protection and a little more, intentionality.
You had the state police there, and they're there through Super Bowl, so I think it's I mean, I'm sorry, they're there through Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras,
And
yeah.
so, I mean, look, and the state's not stupid. They know where a big chunk of their tax dollars come in.
Right.
And they want to make sure that people are safe and feel comfortable going to New Orleans or the French Quarter and everywhere else. And so, I think it's,
I think it's uncomfortable. People, that want to have this discussion, but really, I'm saying this anecdotally, but I would suspect that 90% of the crime is committed by about 3 or 4% of the criminals. And that's just the reality. And
I remember talking to a DA of Orleans Parish. It's about our previous DA, and he told me, he said, Albert, we know where these guys are. Mm-hmm. If we could lock up these 200 people, we would knock crime down by about 60 or 70%.
Yeah.
But they keep going through the revolving door, committing these crimes, and they just keep getting let back on the streets over and over and over again. He said, we know where they are. We can lock them up, and they would, the courts would keep them in jail. Judges, we would be able to eliminate 60, 70% of crime. That's a big number.
That's it. So we got a new mayor, and it's nice to turn on the TV, see the new mayor. It's very dignified, very, very, very thoughtful.
And she's from here.
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
And she's very communicative.
Here.
It's very open-minded. She's not from Los Angeles. So it'll be nice to turn on TV and not cringe when you see the mayor. So that's a start right there. All right, so let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, you Weekend Lawyers, all things legal. We'll talk a little bit about a couple of changes in law regarding contractors and construction, which is definitely up Albert's wheelhouse. So we'll be right back after this brief time out.
Well, I must be traveling on now. There's too many places I've got to see.
Tiger fans, we got our head coach, but who is looking to recruit for the LSU football team? Keep it locked on WWL for the latest on LSU's search for a new quarterback, plus key portal and transfer signings. We'll bring you breaking news when it happens, on air, online, and social. Also, listen to Sports Talk, weekdays at 4 o'clock for up-to-the-minute reports, LSU insiders, and expert analysis. Brought to you by the Spirit of First American, a banking tradition since 1910, and WWL.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your...
All right, Doug.
Where you are, call...
Right, on the phone, we have a Scott in New Orleans. He doesn't have a legal question. He just wants to talk about how excited he is for the incoming administration.
Okay, yeah. Is that Scotty Craig?
I don't know. Maybe. It just says Scott in New Orleans.
All right.
Their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-98.
Yeah, I might walk down to the Lafayette Square later to see if I can get a selfie with Mr. Lane there.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The IRS is more aggressive than ever, and your tax problems won't disappear on their own. They're holding your life hostage, wrecking your credit, your peace of mind, and your future. Hi, I'm Danielle with Go Tax Resolution. We specialize in resolving delinquent tax issues and will help protect your bank account, your wages, and your assets. Don't wait another day. Don't bury your head in the sand. Regain your life. Call us at 985-722-1040 or visit us at gotaxresolution.com. That's GEAUX taxresolution.com.
The IRS is ramping up collections, and that means more wage garnishments, bank levies, and aggressive action. Hi, I'm Caitlin with Go Tax Resolution. You owe back taxes. The time to act is now. Don't face the IRS alone. At Go Tax Resolution, we know how to protect your assets and your peace of mind. Call Go Tax Resolution at 985-722-1040 or visit gotaxresolution.com. That's GEAUX taxresolution.com.
Educating students since 1921, Delgado Community College offers programs in business, technology, health sciences, and the arts. Our career-focused degrees and certificates are affordable, flexible, and transferable. Whether you're starting your post-high school education or want to advance or change your career, Delgado has something for you. Step closer to being unstoppable at Delgado Community College. Visit dcc.edu to learn more today.
The Maple Street Cafe is open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner on historic Maple Street in the heart of uptown New Orleans. An intimate cafe feel with mouthwatering Mediterranean and Italian cuisine, the Maple Street Cafe prides itself with healthy yet affordable entrees and a traditional New Orleans experience. Please call ahead to make your reservation or your takeout order. As always, Maple Street urges you to eat local and appreciates the opportunity to feed your friends and family. Visit online at maplestreetcafenola.com.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
Back to attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri on WWL. Stream all things legal and our time-shifted podcasts on Odyssey, TuneIn, and now on the iHeartRadio app. Or connect now on the Oakland Hart Jewelers Talk and Text line 504-260-1870.
All right, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers. We're talking about the Par 4s and the Parkway Tavern. And so on the line, we have Scotty, who was the proprietor, owner of the Parkway, who I don't think Lane Kiffin ever went to the Parkway while he owned it. But hey, Scotty, Happy New Year.
I don't think he was born yet.
Yeah, right.
Happy New Year, guys. How you doing?
We're doing good. We're doing
Talk to
good.
you, man. How are things?
It's great, man. I'm so fired up about the city of New Orleans, man. I went to the forum, the mayor's forum before Christmas.
Okay.
I was a guest of Crest and Crown, and I left there feeling like we had won the Super Bowl. But
awesome.
Anyway, we got to the playoffs, but we had a very, very high mountain to climb. But we have the right people in charge to do it. This mayor has relationships with the governor. She's good friends with Cynthia Lee Shang. They've been friends since she was a reporter. And I think she's hired the right people. I am so fired up about New Orleans. I will never leave this city. I love this city. I've got 2 businesses here, and I just feel really good about it. And you can feel it in the air. You can feel it when you talk to people that we've got hope. And I'm fired up. And I hate to hear about your friend that moved across the street from you in Mandeville. I know it's beautiful over there, but I love New Orleans.
When you went to the forum, tell me specifically what you heard that is making you optimistic, as far as opposed to platitudes and we're going to work hard. What are a couple of things that you heard that you think you could sort of hold on to and say, hey, this is something that's going to really have a positive effect on the city? Or
the main thing is that they want to grow, and they have relationships with the state and with the other parishes. And it's not going to be just New Orleans thing. It's going to be a work together and try to build businesses together and bring businesses to the area. And it was so enlightening to hear that. And I actually met with her, with Chip Forstall, who's a good friend of mine, and he's friends with her. And I talked to her for a few minutes, and she's all business, man. And she is a tough lady. And I think she knows what's going on. And I think she knows what has to be done. And she does not have a personal agenda. The only agenda is the city of New Orleans and the people that live here. And I really feel that. And I've always said when I talk to people, I would love to be mayor of this city. I'm not saying I'm the smartest guy in the room, but the smartest guy in the room is the one that listens to smart people. And I really think she's going to listen to the people around her, and she will take advice, and she's not going to have a dictator attitude. And I feel so good about it, y'all. And I haven't felt good about the city since Morial was there. And I know a lot of people didn't like Morial. You know, I know Mark. I think he did a great job as mayor of the city. And I really feel good about it again. And
well, I mean,
before that, I was a kid, and I didn't know, you know. But
right, and you know, look, you've been in the trenches, though, right? I mean, you've owned a business for a long time now, 2 businesses, and so you've had to deal with permitting and taxes and streets and crime and all of those things. And, you know, God bless you for hanging in there for so many years. When did you open Katie's?
I bought it in 1994. So
right. So you've been around for quite a long time, toughing it out. Yeah. And yeah. And I'm the same way. You know, my children are 8th generation Nicauds born in New Orleans, right? And so I love that city. It's part of my heart. And I'm thrilled that it is coming back, and we can see it and we can feel it, and hopefully that momentum transfers to all races, to all peoples. That hey, look, let's start doing what's good for the city.
Well, you know, a rising tide. Yeah, you go ahead. Go, Scott.
What we have going for us is we are not like other cities. We love one another. There's not all the humbug that you see around the country and cities. We don't have that here. We get along so well together, all races, everybody. It doesn't matter.
I agree.
We love one another. And I live my life like that. I grew up in a very diverse neighborhood in Oak Park, Gentilly, and I've lived like that my whole life. And that's the way we need to be. We need to just love one another. And
right.
And I feel like we have that, man. It's coming. It's here. Yeah. And we need to stay. We need our kids to stay in New Orleans and want to work here and want to be attorneys here and want to be restaurateurs here. And we can do that. We can do that. The only problem is they're in a major financial hole.
Yeah.
And it's going to take time to get out of that. But hiring Joe Geruso, who's a financial genius, to handle this was a real good move. A real good move. And, you know, and I think Desiree Charbonnet is working in the transition committee. And, you know, I've known Desiree for 40 years. What we could have had, but we didn't. And it is what it is. And, you know, I actually liked Mayor Cantrell. When I met her and talked to her, I don't know what happened. I mean, it just went south. And I'm just really excited about it, guys. That's all I can say.
I think national politics got in this. I think national politics got in this, and she bought into it and thought, hey, I might have a position on the national stage one day, and you know, like, I'm not from here. My heart's not here, and that's the difference. You hit the nail on the head. You know, other cities, you know, urban cities especially, win Super Bowls and they start burning cars in the streets, and we run across Bourbon Street and hug each other and dance in the streets and celebrate. And we, like I said, we have so much in common. And this has been, a lower economic city for forever, right? I mean, you had the haves and the have-nots, and the middle class has grown, but blacks and whites and Asians and all of these people have worked together and lived together and grown up together forever. And so, don't bring in your national politics and try to divide that. Let's all work together towards a common goal.
And I think that's what happened to the mayor before that also, is about national aspirations. And really, and what happens is being a mayor is not about Democrat and Republican, because potholes are not Democrat and Republican. Neither is crime, and neither is, growth. And so, that's, it really has very little, when you're on the local level, the D and R doesn't really mean a lot. And so, but my observation in the very limited interaction was she's a very service-oriented person, and I think you hit it on the head, was that she's very open on it and listens. She knows what she doesn't know, and is willing to listen to people about, experts or people who have done well in certain fields as to their ideas, and seems to incorporate them. So, it's amazing. We were out of the country right after Christmas, and when people would say they're from New Orleans, there were a lot of people from the East Coast up north, and they said, we have never been to a city that is so welcoming. And so it's where we come from, we sort of just, walk past each other. They just, the best way we describe it is it's a front porch city. We all talk to each other like we do on our front porch, and we treat strangers that way. And that's a very unique experience and a unique cultural aspect that people love. And I know we had met a couple, and you hear this quite a bit, especially in our business where we do, a lot of estate planning and all, and we find out about people's lives. And they say, I came down for Jazz Fest and never left. And and those type of stories. And so, and I think if the city makes a few little adjustments, they can, we can really have sort of a great comeback in the next 10 years.
You see cities like Nashville, you see cities like Austin, Texas, and Atlanta before that grew while we stayed stagnant.
Right.
And that's leadership, man. And I mean, we need great leadership. We need a string of mayors like I believe the new mayor is going to be. For New Orleans to grow like that past our lifetime, guys. I mean, we're all in our 60s now, so we need a string of mayors that will take care of New Orleans, that will work with the governor and help the city and the state grow. We need to quit being the laughing stock, man. And we can do that with leadership that work together and care about what they're doing and care about the people. We can be that someday. It's about some time.
And it's about coordination too, right? We're going to coordinate the Sewage and Water Board. We're going to coordinate the district attorney's office, and hopefully, we get some judges in there that are going to make good, rational decisions and keep criminals off the streets, and have everybody kind of working together to and I'm not saying don't give a kid another chance and whatever, but look, these repeat criminals, they need to just be locked up. I mean, I think that's what they're asking for,
Right, and it is coordination. It's coordination between all of the groups, all of the different levels of government. And I think that's what we may have, guys. And God bless you. I hear the music.
Got it. Thanks for calling in, man. We just need to come see you, go eat one day.
Yeah, please come see me. Let me know when you're coming. Thanks, guys.
All right, Scott. Thanks for calling.
Take care, man.
Let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
It's WWL, live from our Gulf Coast Bank and Trust Company studios, the bank that cares about you. Listen to the WWL shows you love and the local content you crave on the TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and Odyssey apps.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. A robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Hi, my name's Robin Fletcher. I smoked for 46 years. I went to a seminar in March 27 and seen Mark. My best friend came with me. We both went to it, and neither one of us smoked a cigarette in almost 7.5 months. I took my 3 sisters and my brother-in-law and my sister's best friend and them went. None of them have smoked a cigarette, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
My name is Jen Carpenter. I went to a Mark Patrick seminar, the Stop Smoking, and it worked. A friend of mine also went, and he still no longer smokes, and it was just amazing.
Lose weight or stop smoking with hypnosis, guaranteed only $59.99 or your money back. Don't just cut down, but stop smoking once and for all, or your money back. Stop smoking hypnosis 8 p.m. on Thursday, January 29th at the Ramada Airport in Metairie, or 2 p.m. on Saturday, January 31st at the Hilton Garden Inn in Covington. Registration 30 minutes before. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com. That's markpatrickseminars.com.
The wild card round is here, and FanDuel is turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Each game day during wild card round, you'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you in the app. Pick the matchups you believe in, take your shot at an upset, or build a parlay that fits the moment. Then apply your profit boost and go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs get rolling. The wild card round is here, and FanDuel is turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. So visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day.
21 plus and present in Louisiana. Permitted parishes only. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-770-7867.
Happy New Year, Susan. I really appreciate you picking up the bill for lunch.
I'm happy to. One of my New Year's resolutions is being better with money. So I've started using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for buying gas.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I earn cash back just for buying the gas I was already buying.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play and start earning cash back on everyday gas purchases. Use promo code EVENT for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents per gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code EVENT for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code EVENT. Code EVENT. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Worked all your life and built an estate to leave to your loved ones. And now it's time to prepare an estate plan, so where do you turn? The last thing you should do is go to some online will and trust service for a cookie-cutter document. You need to meet with an experienced Louisiana estate planning attorney to share your intentions, ask questions, and obtain advice. This is Albert Nicaud of the Nicaud & Simpson Law Firm in Metairie. I've been providing clients with estate planning advice and preparing wills and trusts for over 35 years. When you're ready to plan your estate, call me at 504-837-1304.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Back to all things legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud. Stream WWL and the shows you love on Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps. Or join us on the Oakland Hart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back, man. Feel like I'm back at par fours in 1985. There you go. Real quick, they had a couple of new laws regarding contractors. First of all, if you are a roofing contractor, roofing projects over $7,500 require a contractor to hold either a residential roofing license or residential construction license with a roofing designation. And Albert, maybe you could shed a little light on that change.
Well, yeah, beginning January 1, it's a little confusing.
Okay.
So you actually have to have both. You have to have a residential contractor's license and a roofing license, a new roofing license that they're going to issue. But prior to this year, if you had one or the other, then you won't have to take a test. You would just have to apply for the other license. So in other words, if you have a residential contractor's license, all you have to do is apply for the roofer's license, and then your company can then install roofs. So they kind of grandfathered those folks in, but anybody after this is going to have to have both a residential and a commercial, and so you're going to have to take a test, and they need people to take a test. We do so much construction litigation related to roofs, and just the way they starter courses and flashing and all of the things that go with it. You should see some of the poor work that we've seen. And so, I think it's a good thing. The roofing contractors used to have a license up until January of 2022. There were 5 trades that were required to have a license. That would be the roofer, the mason, the foundation contractor, the framer, and the stucco contractor. And they all had to have a sub-license to perform that work. Well, all of a sudden, Ida hits, and we have roofers from all over everywhere. And the contractors went to the licensing board and said, look, we're not going to get in trouble for hiring these unlicensed people because they're coming in from all over the country. We need to suspend this law. Well, the contractors board essentially repealed it. And so I think in their wisdom, they've realized, okay, we can't repeal that. People that are putting on roofs should at least be licensed. And I think the same thing should for framing, right? You need to be able to read a set of plans. You need to be able to do those things. There should be testing for that. Same thing with a foundation, your different types of foundations and post-tension slabs and all these types of different types. They need to know what they're doing, and they need to be licensed in doing so. But again, that's a conversation, I guess, to have, or something to request the contractors board to reinstitute. But yeah, beginning January 1, make sure that your contractor is licensed. Make sure that they pull a permit. Now, the permit issue, hopefully, and I don't think it's going to happen, they might have to deal with some sort of photographic evidence or whatever. But I can't imagine any inspectors climbing up on roofs to inspect, the flashing before the coverings before they put the shingles on, right? But I think, at least with the permitting that's required, you're going to have to be licensed in order to get the permit. And so that at least will protect you to some degree.
Okay. All right. There you go. Let's go to our final break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, you Weekend Lawyers. All things legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
WWL, home of your New Orleans Saints. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
WWL is proudly sponsored by Dudley DeBosier, official injury lawyers of the New Orleans Saints. Call 444-4444.
That's 444-4444. Non-attorney spokesperson Chad Dudley, New Orleans.
When it comes to affordable term life insurance, everyone's whistling the Big Lou tune. If you're over 50, maybe a bit porky, or have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost about $200 a month. Even if you're not in perfect health, call Big Lou, because he specializes in finding big chunks of affordable term life insurance for just about everyone. Don't let diabetes or other health glitches keep you from owning $500,000 to $1 million or more of term life insurance. For affordable term life insurance, call Big Lou. Don't hesitate. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or visit biglou.com.
Call Big Lou, don't hesitate, 800-700-6898. Call Big Lou, don't hesitate, 800-700-6898. Visit biglou.com.
Hi, this is Sam Moody with Go Tax Resolution. Imagine if you could see the IRS's next move before they make it. Introducing the IRS Transcript Monitoring Service from Go Tax Resolution, your personal radar for tax trouble. Using state-of-the-art software enhanced with AI, we monitor IRS activity on your account 24/7. It's like credit monitoring on steroids, but for your taxes. Let Go Tax Resolution alert you to changes, actions, and potential threats, so you can stay protected, stay ahead, and stay in control. Whether it's a pending audit, a collection notice, or a new penalty, you'll know before it hits. With proactive alerts, expert analysis, and former IRS agents on your side. Know what's coming, be ready, be protected. To activate your IRS transcript monitoring, please call Go Tax Resolution at 985-722-1040 or visit gotaxresolution.com. That's GEAUX, taxresolution.com.
Do what I did and finally take control of your weight for good with Kronos Body Health and Wellness. It's the region's premier medical weight loss program, ranked #1 by local physicians and by me, Tommy Tucker. Affordable, effective GLP-1 medications and programs for your body's unique needs from Kronos without a subscription. Go in weekly or use a virtual clinic. Either way, they'll help you achieve real, sustainable weight loss. Dr. Scott and his team are there to completely support you through your entire journey. Go to KronosBHW.com or call them today.
For Mardi Gras supplies, head to Jefferson Variety Stores, specializing in specialty beads, throw beads, trinkets, boas, masks, hats, and plenty more. At Jefferson Variety Stores, open 7 days a week. Visit them at 239 Iris Avenue in Old Jefferson or online at jeffersonvariety.com.
MLR. You know who we are, roofing and construction experts. MLRBuildersLLC.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It's all things legal on WWL and streaming live on the Odyssey, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio apps. To consult with Doug Sunseri or Albert Nicaud, call their office at 504-837-1304 or connect now on the Oakland Hart Jewelers Talk and Text line 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, you weekend lawyers, all things legal. Starting year 18, we'll be blowing and going until pretty much every weekend until Labor Day. Wanted to give a shout out to one of our friends, one of your friends, Albert, Chris Jennings, Jesuit basketball coach, has won 750 games at Jesuit, which is really, really incredible. So
Yeah, a couple of weeks. There's going to be a little presentation for him at Jesuit on Friday night before the game. And my buddy Tommy Williams, who played with him at Jesuit in '78, he's going to come in town. We're going to head over there and go congratulate Chris. It's been a good run for him.
And, you know, the two things I want to say about Chris. First of all, if there was a three-point line when he played, he'd probably still be playing. Because when he played at Jesuit, he probably made most of the shots from 23 feet and beyond. And it was just a really great player.
One of the purest shooters I've ever seen.
And
quick.
Yeah, actually, with Chris, when I was in law school, I was a high school basketball referee. In the year he got hired, he replaced Johnny Pons, who was a former UNO player. I think I did 7 or 8 of his games that year. And so, which was sort of awkward because we'd play cards on Monday, and I was doing his basketball games on Tuesday. So there we go.
So we this sports club I'm in, right? It's a bunch of guys from around the city, and we play different sports. Well, he played for a couple of years, and it was the championship game. His team was in the championship, and we played 4 10-minute running time quarters, right?
Yeah.
And so he had come from Jazz Fest. It was a Sunday night league, Sunday afternoon league. Come from Jazz Fest, and his team was down 12-2 with about 5 minutes left into the first quarter. At the end of the first quarter, his team was winning 14-12 because he came down and made 4 threes. His team ended up winning 74-73. Chris had 70. He had 70 points. He had 3 4-point plays in the game. He came off the court and looked at me like, okay, I was unconscious. But yeah. And he was playing. The other team scored 73 points, so it wasn't like he was playing a bunch of scrubs.
Right.
It was crazy. He had 70 points in 10-minute running time, and he missed half the first quarter.
So there you go.
But no, he could fill it up. Good guy too. Good family. Good friend.
Congratulations to Coach Chris. And got a minute or two, Albert. Anything on the send off?
Just like Scott. Scott Craig got Katie's and Francesca's. Again, he's hung in there, right? Before that, he had Parkway Tavern. So he's owned businesses in this city for probably almost 50 years, and he's hung in there. And I agree. Listening to him, I think we've got some good things coming our way, and I think if we can stay positive and we have people that are going to support the mayor, not try to put up obstacles to everything she's doing. We can turn this city around. So we'll see.
So it's a good optimistic message to start off the year in New Orleans. So we'll see you next week on All Things Legal. Y'all have a great week. Happy New Year again, and enjoy all the football today. And we'll see you next week.
870 AM.
All right, Doug. Have a good weekend, man.
All right. Thanks so much.
WWL FM and HD1 Kenner, New Orleans, and Odyssey Station.